All right, good morning, everybody who is joining. For those of you who've been here before, you know the deal. Just give us a couple of minutes. We're going to let people filter in. For those of you who are newcomers, we're just going to wait a minute or two to let all the attendees join, and then we will start. So just give us a minute. All right, it is. Oh, it's still only 10 o'clock. I'm going to give just a minute more.
Yeah, I think a few more minutes and people will be coming in.
All right, we're just going to give it one more minute, then we'll get started.
So Claire, is the chat open? Because I do have a question for the audience. And
the chat is open.
Okay, good. Because I'm only seeing the Q&A on my side and I can't send a message.
Interesting. The chat is open. All right, so let's get started. Sheila, I can help you with the chat function if you can't find it or if it doesn't open.
Okay.
All right, so good morning, everybody. It is October 20th, and it is one of our weekly SCORE webinars. So today we have with us Sheila Donovan from Real Clear Marketing, who's going to talk about getting ready for recovery. Before I hand over to Sheila, just a couple of housekeeping and SCORE information. So SCORE is a not-for-profit entity. We are sponsored by the SBA, and we help small businesses with free mentoring and free webinar services. So for those of you who are with us who maybe are looking for some business mentoring or some business coaching, please check out our website at monmouth.score.org, and request a mentor. Housekeeping about the webinar today is we use the Q&A function. We actually can't see you, but you can see us. We use the Q&A function for questions and answers. So if you have questions, we encourage them. We like this to be as interactive as possible. Just post your questions here on the Q&A and we will answer them as we go through. Sheila and I can both see them. We may use the chat function a little bit today if we have some questions that we want you guys to just to answer. I know that Sheila has a question she's going to ask in a minute. Just post your answers in the chat function so we can take a look there. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have right now. I will close off at the end and I'll hand over to Sheila.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Claire, and thanks so much to SCORE of Monmouth for inviting me to do this presentation. So I'm going to start with a question, which I'm going to put in the chat, because during this training, I give examples, real life examples for small businesses. And I want it to be the type of businesses that are attending this webinar. I see no point talking about dentist office when I'm talking to a bunch of restaurant owners. So in the chat, I just put a question. So if you'd be so kind as to let me know what type of business you have. So as I move through this presentation, I can give examples for your type of business. Now, with that said, the topic of this presentation is getting ready for recovery. And I can't believe I'm doing it yet again. I started doing this presentation in July because we're all waiting for recovery and consumers are still spooked. And there are many consumers that are happy to live life as they used to, but there's some that are still afraid to come out and do business with your business, let alone the restrictions that we've had placed upon businesses. So today I want to talk about, just give you a little bit of background about me and a little front of the room credibility. And so you know who I am. I have 20 years of global marketing experience. I sold my global marketing company in October of last year, 2019. In my global marketing company, we serve some really big brands: Cornell University, Chanel, Dell, Forbes, LLB, National Geographic, the United States Postal Service, and the list goes on. And I sold the business in October of 2019 because I had to pivot. And one of the big things in the European Union are privacy regulations, and it made it very difficult for a small business owner like me to compete and keep up with all the privacy regulations. A lot has gone on there, but I decided it was time to change the focus of my business. So I sold the company, and that was the second major business pivot I had in my business. And I tell you this because you might be facing a pivot in your business right now. And let me tell you, if you put your thinking cap on and be resilient and go forward and work at it every single day, you too can pivot your business. An older pivot was after 9/11, I was in the mailing business. And then anthrax hit the mail. It totally killed our business, especially the international business. So that's when I got into data and analytics and global marketing data and analytics. So you can find your way too. I'm living proof of somebody who thought it was absolutely over, and I just had to sit down and refuse to give up. And I hope you'll do the same. And now I teach digital marketing to small businesses. My goals for today, I think every presentation should have a goal because too many people are just pontificating and telling you all this, theory and stuff like that. I really want to show you how to identify your ideal target audience on Facebook and Instagram. Why? Those are the two biggest platforms out there. And too many people don't take this critical step. You can have the best ad in the world, the most outstanding graphics in the world, the most engaging video. If you're talking to the wrong people, forget about it. It's absolutely wasted effort. So I'm going to talk about the #1 strategy for digital marketing and the type of ads available on digital platforms. Now, I want to talk about some important facts. Social media is pay to play. This is just a fact. Organic reach is so low. It's less than 1%. So if you have, it's 1 to 2%. So if you have 1,000 people like your page, very few of them are going to see it. If you have 100, one person is likely to see it because it's controlled by Facebook and Instagram's algorithms. But the good news is that you can advertise with a very low budget. I mean, like $5, $10 a day. Actually, I always start everybody at 20 just to get some traction because that's a little bit above the lowest price, but you can advertise with a very low budget. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. And you can test and develop audiences inexpensively. So I see that we have a salon owner, scarves, and also a printing company. So I want to talk about the salon company that's online today. You might serve millennials. You might serve some senior citizens. You might do families with children. You have to treat your audiences differently. You cannot do a promotion designed for senior citizens and expect to attract millennials. So you have to test and develop your audiences. This is critical. Important terminology, number, and marketing math. You have to spend money to make money, but I've just told you, it does not have to be big money. And how much you spend to acquire a new customer, something called lifetime value. So I'm going to go back to the salon example. If the salon keeps somebody for 10 years and they get a $30 haircut every 3 months, That's $120 a year. That's $1,200. You have to figure out what's a customer worth to you. So if you're selling something very inexpensive like ice cream and maybe an ice cream cone, you can't spend as much as a financial planner who, if they get somebody, they can stand to make thousands. So you want to understand the lifetime value of your customer. And there is a budget for everyone on Facebook. Trust me when I tell you, we want to look at things like cost per thousand, cost per click. And the new word of the day is return on ad spend. People say, what's your return on investment? In marketing, it's return on ad spend. I'm going to teach you about a marketing funnel, which is the #1 digital strategy. So why is digital marketing so powerful? Well, it lets you inside the head of the consumer. Did you know that the average individual has between 60 and 70,000 thoughts per day? Isn't that incredible? Now, for simplicity's sake, in this slide, I've broken it into 2 categories: work life and home life. And the twain shall meet. You could be at home thinking about work. You could be at work thinking about your personal life. And things pop into our head all day. College funds and performance review and job deadlines and so on and so forth. So when you reach people on social media, they act upon these thoughts and they click on something. And like it or not, everything we click on online is tracked and analyzed, especially in the big platforms. Now, you can protect your privacy. That's a subject for another day, but you can protect your privacy. But just rest assured that this is how your profile. So if you click on college funds and performance reviews, all that stuff is stored. But we can use this tracking information. You can run from it or you can profit from it. Today, we're only going to talk about how you can profit from it, because if you target the right audience on social media platforms, you can make a lot of money. So in consumer targeting, there's some basic things that you must know about your audience. And the most basic is demographics. Demographics have been around forever, for like as long as I've been in marketing, which honestly is a very long time. So demographics covers location, gender, age, income, education level, presence of children, marital status. Something as simple as location can be really important. I'm in Boonton, New Jersey. Nearby towns are Denville, Rockaway, and the like. It's unlikely somebody will come from a town that's only like 4 miles away, because it's kind of a competitive town, Denville, New Jersey. So you really got to know the location of your customers. How far are they willing to travel? It depends on what you offer. If you're a really outstanding restaurant, maybe somebody will drive 20 miles to see you. This is the stuff you have to think about. And you can think about it by looking at your existing customer base. And if you have a brand new business, you have to test and say, well, gee, let me try Denville, let me try Boonton, see what works best. But it will surface, it will show itself, I guarantee you, if you tend to think about it. Gender, you may have a product that's traditionally or only for women or only for men. Age, you might serve a couple of different age ranges. If you own a restaurant, a financial planner, pretty much every business, one of the main separators in terms of demographic is age. Are you young, middle-aged, or old? Different advertisements work for different groups. Income can be important, but it's not necessarily important. So if you're a financial planner, financial planners love people with high income, for obvious reasons. They want to invest their money. But for day-to-day activities, unless you have some really expensive service, like if you're a really high-end salon or hair salon or nail salon, income doesn't really matter. Presence of children. If you have a product or service that serves children, that's going to be important. Marital status may or may not matter, but it does matter if you are a divorce attorney and things like that. So you have to think about the nature of your business. And these are the core characteristics which are known as demographics. Then you want some lifestyle indicators. That's what we used to call them in days of old before Facebook. Now we call them interests. So are they a foodie? Are they into beauty? Are they a busy mom? Are they into a healthy lifestyle? Animals, travel, and the like. And emotional triggers. People buy for one of 2 reasons, pain and pleasure. And this is just basic human nature, which applies in marketing. Something as simple as getting a meal can solve a pain point if you're hungry, but you can also solve pleasure points. And I want you to think about travel advertisements. Think about the hotels or Sandals resorts or whatever. They rarely ever show you inside the hotel and say, we have the finest beds, or look at our gorgeous lobby. It's always pictures of people enjoying themselves at the resort, because that is a real pleasure point. So they want to bring that across. You too can do that in your business and make sure that people understand what they're going to gain by choosing you to do business with. And pain, I mean, there's lots of pain points out there. Your leak could be roofing, your hairstyle could be a mess, your taxes are behind. I mean, there's a million different things. You may need a new wardrobe if you're selling clothes and the like. You also have to understand people's likes and dislikes when it comes to these pain and pleasure points. And this is important to understand when you write ad copy, right? So if you have a leaky roof, you would write something like, winter's coming and that roof is leaking. It's got you worried, doesn't it? That's the type of stuff that brings out those emotional triggers and relates to people. Now, in business targeting, if you sell to business, the business equivalent of demographics is called firmographics. What's the location of the business you want to work with, industry, number of employees, annual sales. That's a huge difference. I mean, selling my corporate clients and working with them is absolutely different than working with small businesses. This is really important. How big is the company? What industry are they in? How many employees? You must know this stuff, especially if you plan to target them on social media. The job function of the decision maker. Everybody wants to sell to the president. Everybody wants to sell to the top dog. Well, it doesn't always work that way, does it? You might have to start with the engineer, the office manager, the buyer. And gender might be important. If you work in the construction industry, it's very likely you're selling to more males than females. That is true for engineering. Clinical science and laboratories, you're going to be dealing with more women. So you want to understand that, because when you get to writing copy and choosing images, in terms of images, people relate to pictures of people that look like them or that they can relate to. So these little subtle things become very important. What's the problem that you solve? In a business-to-business environment, could be inefficiency, communications. You may have great accounting software or an employee benefits program. Whatever it is, you solve a problem. And like in the consumer realm, it's a pain and gain thing. It works this way too in business-to-business marketing. So I want to talk about the number one marketing strategy out there that every single digital marketer uses. It's called a marketing funnel. And it basically is an automated process of identifying prospects and converting them into customers. And when you target the right audience, it is critical. Again, you could have the best ad ever, and if it's shown to the wrong people, it's just useless. So let me go through this a little bit more, actually, sorry. It basically documents the customer journey. So somebody becomes aware of you. They see an ad or a video. They might get a piece of direct mail. I just got something from Atlantic Health. They opened a new urgent care in our neighborhood. I didn't know about that. That's pretty good. That's awareness. They're making me aware that this new convenient location is nearby. And then somebody engages with you. So in terms of awareness, there's going to be a bunch of people that see it. And the people that are in red obviously are not interested in this product or service. This is just to give you a visual. We're netting down the audience. Engagement is the next step. So in social media, on social media platforms, that means somebody clicks on it, right? That's going to be a smaller audience of people. Then the discovery is when they sign up, register, call. Because in marketing, you have to have something called a call to action. Redeem coupon, learn more, call now, whatever it is. That's when they discover more about you. So they've gone that next step. They've clicked on your ad, and now they're going to take the action that you want them to do. And purchase, buy. We know what that is. And those are all those golden people. We want them to buy. And then you want them to continually buy. And that's called customer retention. Now, how does this work? So I just showed you 2 seconds ago this funnel. Awareness, they have engagement here. On social media platforms, this is Facebook and Instagram. They call it awareness. They call it consideration, which is somebody that's more engaged, and then conversion. And oddly enough, look at Pinterest, same exact thing. When you're advertising there, you have a couple of choices. What is your business goal? It says it right there, smack in the middle of the screen. Build awareness, drive consideration, get conversions. So it's all the same objective of pulling people through that funnel. So let's take a deeper look at this funnel. In the awareness stage, and this is Facebook's offering and Instagram, you can do brand awareness. So I just used this example of Atlantic Health sending me this postcard saying there's a new urgent care in town. They just want to let me know that. And they want to reach as many people as they want. So that's called the top of the funnel, just letting people know you're out there. And those are those two objectives. And by the way, on every social platform, it is the most expensive. So it's almost like when you get these mass postcard mailings, that's called every door direct mail that the Postal Service offers, cheapest way. They just throw it at every single door. Awareness, the best thing is on social media platforms, we can narrow it down by some of those demographics and interest, right? So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. And then the middle of the funnel, we want them to do more. We want them to click on something. We want them to view our video. We want them to fill out a form and give us their name and address. We want them to send us a message. Now, the thing is, that's a great set of tools in there, but it's going to cost you more money. So I always suggest, like if you're brand new to this, why would you want to jump right in the middle of the pool? Start with awareness, and then you can build your way up to engagement. Bottom of the funnel, most expensive, conversions, catalog sales, and stored traffic. Basically, cha-ching. These are the people, because again, I told you, everything you click on social media is tracked and analyzed. So Facebook knows beyond a shadow of a doubt who is more likely to click on a web link, who is more likely to buy something, who is more likely to fill out a form. So they can offer you those prospects, not saying that everybody will buy from you, but they know who is more likely to take that action. And it is the most expensive. The conversion objective is the most expensive. So let's take a look at Facebook and Instagram targeting. This is a 25-mile radius around Morris Plains, a nearby town. And let's take a look at Facebook and Instagram. Now, if I want to target millennials with children, there's possibly 61,000 people in a 25-mile radius around Morris Plains, ages 25 to 39, and you can see the ages of their children. Now, let's say I'm marketing for a restaurant, right? I would want to layer in additional targets, interests, and this is the power of social media marketing. This is what really where the rubber meets the road. This is understanding the ability to do this. So I'm going to take that 61,000 people and I'm advertising for a restaurant. So I want to see who's interested in Olive Garden, Applebee's, and TGIF. Now, I want to point out to you, this doesn't mean that they like Olive Garden. They could like the Olive Garden page. They could like Applebee's. But again, tracking their behavior on and off Facebook is what Facebook does, right? And Olive Garden, Applebee's, and TGIF also have something called pixels on their site. So they kind of know when people visit their site and they report it to Facebook. So this is pretty accurate stuff, this online tracking. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but just understand these people have expressed an interest by clicking on something, visiting one of these websites, Olive Garden, Applebee's, TGI Friday. So I've taken this potential audience of 61,000 people and narrowed it down to 29,000. That is enormous. That is incredibly targeted, much more targeted, because who wants to spend the money cycling through 61,000 people in the hopes that you find somebody who might be interested in your restaurant? No one wants to do this, and you shouldn't do that either. You should be very precise about your targeting. Let's take a look at another example, baby boomers. Potential reach, Morris Plains, 25 miles around it, 55 to 65, and that would be 180,000 people, pretty old area up here. So if I'm doing work for a home improvement guy, I want to find those baby boomers who are likely to want to sell their house, right? Because people spruce up their house before they sell it. They throw on a coat of paint, they might do some repairs. So we're going to target people that are interested in home improvements and retirements. Very spot on. So that takes our reach down to 35,000 people from 180. That ad will perform much, much better. So I want to take you onto Facebook now and do some demos. So let me just grab Facebook. So this is my Facebook ads account. If you don't have an ad account, you can set one up. but I actually recommend that you set up Business Manager instead. And I do offer some courses on this, but I want to create a new audience. So I'm going to create a new audience and I'm going to look for a hair salon. So let me just go over here. I want to take a look at the chat again and see if I can see what other kind of businesses. Handmade scarves, e-commerce person.
I think we have
Okay.
I think we have a realtor.
A realtor.
Yeah, I think we have commercial printing.
Email security company. Okay. A realtor. Okay. So I have some B2B and I'm going to just keep me on time. Okay. Claire, tell me when I've been doing this for 5 minutes. It's 10:25 now.
Okay.
So let me just, I'm going to switch to my other ad account. There we go. This one's nice and clean. So up here, Facebook stores something called assets. I don't want to confuse everybody with technical details. So basically, when you're working on Facebook, you have ads managers, events, audiences, business settings. Today, we again, I told you, I need to understand with incredible clarity who you are targeting. So if the lady from the salon, if the chat, would you put your zip code in there while I'm working on this? So we're going to click on audiences. And let me just check over here again. There we go. So I'm going to create an audience and custom audiences, lookalike, special ad audience. These are all different types. I don't have time for those today. But again, I do offer training courses. So we're going to look at a saved audience because this is going to be what I call one of our bread and butter audiences. So Claire, what's the zip code for the score location in Monmouth?
That's a great question. I'm going to have to Google it.
Okay. Well, no, yeah, if you would, that would be great. So notice potential reach on Facebook is 230 million people. So I'm just going to call this salon test. And
it's 07733.
All right. So we'll go through this. So you can do a custom audiences. If I have another audience, I could pull that in here, a little bit of an advanced skill. We're going to talk about locations, and there's a couple of different things. People living in or recently in this location, that would be good for a hair salon, maybe. I prefer to go with people living in this location. So there are a couple of choices. So it's great. Recently in this location, that works well for like Hoboken, like commuter areas, because people are passing through. It's great for a restaurant if you want to get some attention, but it doesn't tell you how recently and it doesn't tell you how often. So I almost like to always go with people living in this location. And now I'm going to change the age because if it's a hair salon, right? Let's just say 25 and we're going to go up to 55. And that's going to change my age, right? So now I'm not going to change. I'm going to do men and women. Language is not important. If you wanted to target Spanish speakers, I just did a campaign for Spanish speakers and it works really well because we serve Spanish ads to them. But now this is now up here in the location. I'm sorry, Claire, what is that zip code again?
07733.
Right. So let's just see. So, okay, 07 and Homedale. So we're going to say Homedale. So it brings up the map and that's fine. So I could just do a 25-mile radius or Homedale, anybody in the zip code. Now, if I wanted to do a radius, I could do Homedale, New Jersey, and then a 25-mile radius. And I don't know why this came up, but that was some latitude, longitude. Now notice it changes to, I mean, even out in the ocean. So 25-mile radius is pretty wide. You want to give some thought to your geography. How far will people drive to your business? So a 10-mile radius, I think that works pretty good. So now I'm just going to leave male and female, not going to do languages. And let's just do hair salon and click suggestions. So, or hairstyle. So hairstyle, they're interested in hairstyle. And now I'm just going to hit suggestions, hair care, hair products, beauty, personal care, long hair, beauty salons. So let's see how many people. 150,000 people. That's a pretty good audience. Now, I might want to get very specific. And if my hair salon carries Paul Mitchell, which is a popular brand, I can narrow the audience a little further and just go Paul Mitchell. Paul Mitchell is a popular hair care brand, Paul Mitchell. And this would be people who are interested. Paul Mitchell interest. So that's taken this huge audience down to fewer than 1,000 people. So that's not going to work. So I would want to do some broad interest like hair salon. And if I carried other, I can't remember, Redken and other different hair care products, if my salon carried a specific brand, I would narrow the audience by putting that in here. But you definitely, if the initial audience is 150,000, I probably wouldn't want to go less than 50,000 people. But this could, really work well. And it would be great for an awareness ad, because beyond an awareness ad, we would change when we were going to do traffic ads and other ads, right? Consideration ads and then conversion ads. But this would be a great audience for just brand awareness. And we could probably do that low cost, like, $20 would go a long way. So I'm going to click this create saved an audience. Okay. So Realtor could be about the same thing. So a Realtor, however, is a special interest category. Why? A Realtor, you can't discriminate people. And I'm not going to do a special interest in my ad account because it does kind of flag your account. So let me just show you how you would do it. Now, you really can't target for realtors or any special ad category. You have to do 18 to 65. And you can only do like a 15-mile radius around a zip code, but it would basically be the same exact process that I just did with the salon test. You would, your age range, if you can see it here, would be 18 to 65. And you can do some interest, but you just can't eliminate people based on age, based on race. You can't really exclude zip codes. I'm up here in Newark, New Jersey. Some people might want to exclude Newark. You can't do it anymore. And you would use the saved audience category. Okay, so
just
I want to get
jumping in with a time check.
Okay, so I'm going to do one for digital and commercial printing, right? So that's a little different if you're one of these people. We're going to do a saved audience, and I'm just going to call this test biz. So we'll do our zip code, and we're going to do Homedale again. Homedale, New Jersey, Homedale. Not typing so well, like Homedale. Okay, let me type it one more time. I got to get my. Okay. All right, let's just put in United States first. So it should, I'm just going to do my own zip code, Boonton, because it's not coming up, Boonton, New Jersey, right? So this is a little bit different. You would definitely want to do the age ranges of your business people, whatever you think that's going to be, probably up to about 55 in a business to business environment. But you know your audience, right? You have to know your audience. Now, this is a little bit different. So over here, we can browse by demographic information, and we can focus on things like work, and we can select job titles. So for this Guardian Digital, your business email security, I would look for something like IT manager, right? IT product manager, manager of IT product manager, and on and on and on. I would create one audience of job titles and one audience based on interest. So fewer than 1,000 people, I would have to hit some suggestions. Head of IT department, technology director. Now this is based on the job title that somebody puts in their Facebook profile. So a lot of people don't do that, or they put in like CEO of the household. Another way to do this is to, you could just, let's just see, Cisco, right? Cisco routers would be a good one for you. So Cisco, and we want Cisco interest, and you'd have to layer it. So I would do like the top router brands and then narrow it down by like IT functions. And you can create an audience that way. For our printer person, same kind of thing. You can just actually go and look at the job functions and see if you can find head of printing, but you can also just put in here printing and see who's interested in printing. A good one for that printing company person, you can identify small business owners, right? So if we go to work, right, and job titles and start putting in business owner, and you can also do categories like restaurant business owners, retail business owners, and the like. So you can reach business owners on the platform. And let's see, business owner fewer than 1,000 people. So I'd have to do a little bit more work, but I'm going to wind up here on these examples, the beautiful handmade scarves, right? Jersey printing. So for the printers, it's ideal for things like restaurants and law firms. So the businesses you're going to reach on Facebook are not like, I don't know, you're not going to reach the big corporations, but you are going to reach the small mom and pop stores, law firms, attorneys, restaurants, retail. So it is a worthwhile platform. So let me go back to my presentation now, and I'm just going to move on a little bit more. So sorry, this won't, okay. Okay, so how do you set up these targeted audiences on Facebook? You do it like you just did. And then what you can do is boost a post to that group. Now, because we don't want to get too, like Facebook ads is a subject unto itself that I could talk about forever. But let me just find a post that I can boost. Let's see, haven't posted anything on my own page in a while, but I could take anything that I have on my page, click boost post, and then I can find the audience, not people I choose through targeting, but it should be audience details, see all. So if I have other audiences, let me just see who should, it's in here somewhere, pardon me, people who like your page. Oh, salon test, right? So I just created this test audience. I could target those people. So that's one thing you want to do when you start doing boosted posts and advertising. You want to hit the same audience over and over again. So setting up your target audience on Facebook is pretty easy. Let me just, so you have to have a Facebook business page. You can have an ads manager account, which is automatically created for you when you set up a business page. And if you need help with this, just go to facebook.com/business, learn lessons step by step, or just Google learn with Facebook and click on log into ad accounts, create an audience. Now I do have a PDF available. So if you want to get the PDF of this presentation, Rebound Marketing, you can just come to this page here. And this is a free download. So I'm going to put it in the chat. And if anybody is interested, you can just download this, which pretty much details what I just went through today. So let me just make sure I don't have any more slides, and we're going to open it up to questions. Okay. Oh, my results Memorial Day weekend. So I want to talk about results because I do boosted posts. I do all kinds of campaigns, but when you deal with a highly targeted audience, what you'll see here, this ad got a 67.42 result rate, which is phenomenal, right? So I always start with lower cost ads to test my audience. And, you know, something like that is a winning ad. And I'll always start with like an awareness ad and then move to consideration. Start with consideration and move to conversion. You don't want to start with these super expensive ads. You'll waste your money. And the beauty of this, it was so inexpensive. I think I spent $8.09. Yeah, that's what it says right there, $8.89. So my message to you is understand who your audience is first and foremost. People just post up on Facebook and Instagram and post and hope. It's kind of a silly strategy. first and foremost, think about your audiences. I showed you how to create target audiences on Facebook that you could also use on Instagram, because Instagram is owned by Facebook. And then you can test using basic strategies like an awareness campaign, and then go to a consideration campaign, and then go to a conversion campaign. And do download my guide if you want some help. Okay, so that's pretty much the presentation in a nutshell. Are there any questions? Let's just take a look. Claire, any questions?
There are no questions right now, but we would encourage, if anybody has any questions, please go ahead and put them in. Silence is golden.
Silence is golden. Right. So what is the URL for the book? It's right here. It's a PDF download. So I'm just going to give you guys all some tips because we are getting ready for rebound, right? So what am I working on for my clients right now in this crazy world that we live in? Specials. Everybody deserves a special. We have a printing company here. You could come up with some kind of special offer. If I were you right now, I'd be looking at what can I offer for a holiday printing? I don't know if you deal with consumers. I don't know if you deal with businesses, probably a little bit of both. Something super special for the holidays and promote that. And you can promote that on Facebook using the promoted post strategy that I just showed you to a highly targeted audience. Once you get your audiences down pat, you'll know which is performing better. So I don't think I need to share my screen anymore. So I'm just going to go back to me. And so everybody, you know, even the digital company that does, you know, email marketing security, that's a great way to bring in some new customers for the holiday year. Get ready for the new year. You know, make sure security is top of mind. So at this very moment, right before Halloween, the promotions that you should be thinking about right now are something special for the holidays. And you can start promoting them soon. Like, I think like the minute after Halloween would be acceptable. And you could carry it on through to the new year. But we all need something special this year. Every single one of us needs something special this year. So that's one strategy that I'm helping my customers with. Oh, we have a question. Sorry, we got here late. I would love to have this video. Will you be emailing this to your webinar? It will be on the SCORE page. I don't, right?
Yeah, it will be on our YouTube channel, Lisa. So we'll put it on the YouTube channel. And Sheila, are we going to be able to email the slides out to everyone after this?
I usually just do the book. The handout is better.
Okay, perfect. All right, the handout is
so
much
if you
better.
want
Okay.
the handout, it's this handout, which is on my page, Real Clear Marketing, because the slides aren't going to do you any good without my notes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we'll
yeah.
And then there's a question about the training classes you offer. So do you want to speak a little about that,
You can find them on Real Clear Marketing. Sign up for this. Sign up for this Real Clear Marketing, Rebound Marketing, and then you'll get on my email list. And I'm coming up with some customized trainings because small businesses need so much help right now. And oftentimes I come up with different ideas. So if you want that, sign up for this book and you'll get notified of new training classes. Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? We have a few more minutes. Ask me anything. Seriously, ask me anything now because I want to help if I can help you. Q&A. Do we have another one? I do consult with small businesses. So let me just, I think I'm going to go back and share my screen in case anybody wants to get in touch. So hold on a second. Let me just get the PowerPoint because you can jot this all down. So let me just, hold on a second. All right, bear with me. Sorry, I don't know what's going on here. I have so much open on my desk. All right.
Modern technology.
Share this, and I'm going to put the PowerPoint back up right now, and hopefully it'll all go as planned. There you go. So there's my phone number. There's my email. There's my site, at least one of them. And I've been super busy So you'll see a lot more content on my Facebook page and on social media as well. Sometimes I get like the cobbler's children. But if I can leave you with any message, just think of something, it's overwhelming. That's what I'm finding so much with small businesses these days, because it's like they're barely hanging on. We're all barely hanging on. You've got to just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move forward. Think of one thing. One. And here's that one thing. What can you do to make your customers and prospects feel special by the end of the year? So that gives you basically, almost 2 weeks that you could work on this and think of this and come up with a nice graphic and a nice offer and make it your year-end special. Don't overtax yourself. Just do one thing at a time. But I promise you, if you get out there and promote to the right audience, now you've got to think about your audiences too. You can have more than one audience. So even this digital company that does email marketing, they're going to talk to law firms totally differently than they are going to talk to dentist offices. Law firms are absolutely freaked out about security. Dentists are as well too. They have to comply with HIPAA, but your advertisements and your creative will be a lot different. So if I can leave you with any message, the first message is you will survive. You can survive. You just got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and do it. Second thing is know who your ideal target audience is. Stop just throwing stuff out there and hoping for the best. Talk to your customers as if they were in your store. You would talk to a senior different than you would talk to a child. And finally, think of just one promotion. Everybody's calling me now and saying, just worry about one special promotion for year end. Then you can think of something new for the new year. Okay, so that's pretty much it for me.
We had one more question just pop in, Sheila, which is, what is the average time need to spend?
So I just did this unless, obviously I've been doing this for a long time. To create a custom audience shouldn't take you long. If you sat down and write age, income, those characteristics, if there's children, you could probably spend an hour detailing like what they're interested in and so on and so forth. And you'll find that in that guide. That guide will help you. So maybe an hour doing that. Then if you're not familiar with Canva, canva.com, to help you make some graphics, check it out. Let me put that in.
Canva's brilliant. We just started using it, and it's really, once you get if you get past the first 10 minutes of being overwhelmed by it, I encourage anybody to use it. It's really super, super simple and free.
I'll tell you what, I've been using it for so long. I can't seem to get the chat up, but canva.com. So even start promoting and start thinking about what you're going to do to make your customers special, especially your new customers. And don't forget your existing customers, right? Depending on what it is you sell, even the salon lady, right? Maybe promote a color. What was the site again? I'm going to put the chat. I can't put in here. Can you answer that?
Yeah.
I'm going to answer it live. Hold on a second. Let me just put it in here. Yeah, so if you sign up for this guide, it'll get you started and, get you on my email list. What is that? Okay. Answered. I'm not having select question.
All right, I put it in. I put it in the question for you.
Okay, so Real Clear Marketing. Okay, so it's realclearmarketing.com/rebound-marketing. So sorry, we just got here late. Do you consult? Yes, I do. So get in touch with me. You can all send me an email if you want, and if you have some questions. So that's that. So any other questions or comments? Anybody? No? Okay, well, thank you so much for attending. Thank you, SCORE, and thank you, Claire, for inviting me to speak. It's been a pleasure. And I cannot stress, anybody who showed up here today, kudos for you. Congratulations, because you're willing to think about it and do something. So one little bit of action every single day, and go back to your existing customers and prospects, think of different specials, and one little step at a time. Don't get intimidated. And you'll find your way. And I know you'll all be successful.
Thank you so much, Sheila. That was great. We really appreciate it. If you have anybody else on the call, if you have any questions, you saw Sheila's contact details, and we'll email Actually, we're not going to email you. You can go to the website and you can
and sign up. Yeah,
download
sign
the
up for the
information
guide, because
and
then it
sign
gets
up.
on your email list. And I have a ton of stuff coming out in the next few weeks, specifically like this, like advertise cheap and what you can do and ideas. And you can see stuff just kind of falls out of my head, and I often get it on paper and into mini trainings and stuff like that. But I just want to leave everybody with a message. Good for you showing up here. That says a lot about who you are as a business owner and a person. And just keep on going. We'll all get through this nonsense. But and don't forget to speak to the right customers and, you know, come up with promotions. And thanks again so much, Claire. And this will be on their YouTube channel, and I think also on your site.
Yes,
So,
it will. So, all right, everybody, thank
right.
you very much. Stay tuned for our next webinar, which is next week. It's on our website, monmouth.score.org. You can check and see. I believe it's a sales webinar next week. I should probably have known that before I mentioned it, but check it out on our website. If you're looking for a mentor, also monmouth.score.org. If you don't see somebody on there who maybe seems like they have the skills you're looking for, don't be afraid to select anybody, because we have within our network a number of people that we can refer you to.
Yeah.
And that, go ahead, Sheila.
And that's something I really forgot to say, and I should say, is to everybody here at this audience, SCORE is a wonderful resource. I've met so many brilliant, experienced people. You are not going it alone when you have something like SCORE at your disposal. You can, you know, be mentored by somebody who's been there, done that. They can answer all kinds of questions for you. Obviously, they reach out to people like me, and they find like people in their industry who know what they're doing and do these webinars. So I can't say enough good things about SCORE.
Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I think we will sign off. And again, Sheila, thank you so much for your valuable presentation and information. And we will speak soon. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.